Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio, Story 20.
Imagine the ultimate divine being, like a celestial guardian of pure light and absolute order, right?
Oh yeah, descending from the heavens, wielding a weapon of holy fire to cleanse the earth.
Exactly. Now, I want you to imagine that terrifying, all-powerful entity stopping dead in its tracks, totally defeated.
And not by, like, a demon or a rival god.
No, by a literal cesspool.
It just, it completely shatters our conventional image of the divine, you know?
Totally.
Because we're so conditioned to think of heavenly realms as these spaces of infinite serenity and untouchable majesty.
No, like they're completely above all the muck.
Exactly. So the idea that a literal god could be thwarted by human waste, well, it forces us to rethink what kind of power we're actually looking at here.
And that bizarre, frankly hilarious contradiction is exactly what we're unpacking for you today. So we're digging into this brilliantly layered short story. It's titled Lingwan, which translates to a guardian spirit or guardian official.
Yeah, and it comes from this classic Chinese collection of strange and supernatural tales called the Aozaizi.
Written by Pu Songling.
Right. And our mission for you today is to look at how this brief text, which is about a Taoist priest and his shape-shifting fox friend, how it serves as this fascinating lens.
Because it's not just a ghost story, is it?
Not at all. It explores the surprisingly rigid mechanics of divine bureaucracy, the massive vulnerabilities of ideological purity, and ultimately how supernatural threats totally pale in comparison to the looming shadow of real human historical catastrophe.
Which is a huge pivot, and we will get there, but the narrative starts in a place of total tranquility, right?
Right, very peaceful.
We're at the Kairshan Temple, and there's this human Taoist priest who has dedicated his entire life to a very specific practice called tuna.
Yeah, tuna.
And eventually, he meets this old man who just kind of takes up lodging at the temple, and they bond over this esoteric practice. But to understand this bond, we really need to understand what they're actually doing because, tuna isn't just sitting quietly and meditating, is it?
Oh no, far from it. Tuna is this foundational Taoist physical and spiritual discipline.
Okay.
The term translates roughly to spitting out the old and taking in the new.
Meaning breath.
Yeah, breath.
Yeah.
It involves these highly specific, incredibly complex breathing exercises designed to cultivate and direct vital energy or qi throughout the body.
So it's an active thing.
Very active. It requires immense, rigorous discipline. You're essentially trying to synchronize your own internal physical rhythms with the respiratory rhythm of the cosmos itself.
Oh, wow. I see. So it's less like finding a casual gym buddy and more like, finding a fellow musician who plays the exact same incredibly complex, obscure instrument as you do.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
When you find someone vibrating on that same rare frequency, you form an instant connection.
Right. And the text says they become profound mystic friends for years. But then, and here's where it gets weird, the human Taoist notices a very specific pattern.
Right, the disappearance.
Yeah. Every single year, exactly 10 days before the suburban sacrifices, the old man completely vanishes from the temple.
He just drops off the map.
Yeah.
And he doesn't return until those rituals are entirely finished.
So what is he avoiding? Like, what are these suburban sacrifices?
Well, to understand why he leaves, we have to look at the mechanics of those sacrifices. These were not like small local offerings at a neighborhood shrine.
Okay.
These were massive state-sponsored rituals where the emperor, acting as the son of heaven, would perform sacrifices to align the human state with the cosmic order of heaven and earth.
Oh, so this is a massive geopolitical and spiritual event.
Huge. The stakes couldn't be higher.
Ah.
And because the emperor is communicating directly with the highest cosmic powers, the spiritual environment has to be completely sterile.
Meaning no distractions.
Meaning literal spiritual sweeps. The heavens literally dispatch advance teams like celestial Secret Service agents, essentially, to sweep the area and clear out any spiritual anomalies.
Rogue spirits, unclassified magical entities, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Anything that isn't supposed to be there gets purged.
Which brings us to the big reveal. The Taoist finally just asks his friend, hey, where do you keep going?
And the old man, because of their deep bond, he confesses the truth.
Yeah, he says he's actually a magical fox spirit.
Right.
He tells the Taoists that when the gods descend to clear away impurities before the sacrifice, he, as a shape-shifting fox, is considered an impurity. He says, I have no place to hide, so I flee.
And the author, Pu Songling, uses this moment to establish a really fascinating dynamic between the two of them.
Okay, wait, I have to stop you there and push back on the human Taoist's reaction.
Oh, you mean how calm he is?
Yes. because it completely threw me. I mean, the Taoist hears his best friend say, hey, I'm actually a shape-shifting magical creature, and he doesn't care at all.
He's totally unfazed.
There's no shock, there's no dramatic gasp, no attempt at an exorcism. He just accepts it. Why does a holy man have zero issue with a supernatural beast living in his temple?
It is surprising to a modern reader, for sure, but you have to view it through the lens of the Taoist ecosystem they inhabit.
Okay, break that down for us.
Well, in this worldview, humanity isn't separate from nature. It's all part of a spectrum. All beings possess ki.
Even animals.
Right, so the fox isn't some demon from hell, you know. He's simply an animal that has cultivated its ki to such an advanced level that it achieves human form.
So to the Taoist, the fox is just a really successful, advanced peer.
Yes, exactly. Their shared dedication to the mechanism of tuna completely overrides their species difference. They are both participating in the same cosmic system.
That's actually really beautiful.
It is. The text treats the supernatural not as a horror element to be destroyed, but as a marginalized part of the natural world. It elevates mutual respect over biological or spiritual categories.
That makes their friendship incredibly poignant. But of course, their routine eventually hits a massive wall.
It does.
Another year passes, sacrifice time arrives, and the fox vanishes as usual. But this time, the sacrifices end, and the fox does not return.
Right, he's just gone.
A long time passes. The Taoist gets worried. Finally, out of nowhere, the fox shows up, and he has a wild confession.
A confession of catastrophic laziness, really.
Honestly, yes. The fox admits that this year, instead of fleeing the city to safely avoid the gods, he just got lazy.
He didn't want to make the trip.
Right. He decided to just hide locally in a hidden drain under a curled urn.
Yeah, which is just, it's the spiritual equivalent of pulling a blanket over your head to hide from a microbiological sweep.
Yes, like trying to hide under your desk during a mandatory office-wide deep clean.
Exactly. You know the sweep is coming, but the effort of actually leaving town was just too high.
It highlights a very relatable flaw, honestly.
It really does. He understands the rigid rules of the suburban sacrifice. He knows the stakes, but his desire for short-term comfort totally overrides his survival instinct.
And that poor calculation summons the Lingguan.
The guardian spirit.
Yeah. The text describes this god finding the fox hidden under the urn, and the Lingguan does not issue a citation.
No warning.
He does not ask for identification. He is instantly furious, raises a whip, and tries to strike the fox down on the spot.
Which triggers a massive panic chase scene all the way to the Yellow River.
Right. And so, what does this all mean for the gods? Because the author makes this divine guardian sound less like a holy savior offering salvation, and way more like a terrifying celestial sanitation worker on a militant power trip.
That's a great way to frame it.
I mean, he is chasing a guy across the country with a whip simply because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The Lingguan's reaction tells us everything we need to know about how this specific text views divine authority.
It's pretty grim.
It is. The author is essentially mapping human bureaucratic flaws onto the divine. The gods in this scenario are entirely stripped of moral benevolence.
They don't care if you're good or bad.
Right, they don't care at all. They are simply enforcing an algorithm. If you detect an impurity in the designated zone during the designated time, purge it.
So the fox didn't commit a sin, he committed a zoning violation.
Exactly. And in a bureaucracy, flouting a regulation is the ultimate offense. The Lingguan's whip isn't an instrument of moral justice.
It's a cleaning tool.
Yes, it's a tool of aggressive hygiene. The system demands a rigid hierarchy of what is clean and what is unclean. By trying to cheat that system by hiding, the fox insulted the efficiency of the celestial administration.
That is a terrifying thought. You cannot reason with a bureaucracy.
No, you can't.
You can't appeal to its mercy or explain your context. It just has a function to execute. Which brings us to the climax of the chase.
The river.
Yeah, the fox is trapped at the edge of the Yellow River. The god is right behind him, whip raised.
And the test notes the fox is greatly distressed and completely without a plan. I mean, the river itself isn't a safe escape from a celestial being.
So the fox makes an unbelievably desperate move. He doesn't jump into the river. He dives headfirst into a latrine.
A literal cesspool.
Yeah, and here is the mechanism that makes this story so brilliant. The god stops.
He just freezes.
The text says the deity's absolute hatred of filth is so overwhelming that he physically cannot bring himself to go near the latrine. He turns back in disgust. And the fox survives.
It is an incredible moment of philosophical irony, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, isn't there a massive irony here? His whole job was to clear away filth.
Right, think about the mechanisms at play here. The Linguin's defining characteristic, his entire reason for existing within the celestial bureaucracy, is to clear away filth. He is the ultimate enforcer of purity.
What actual literal filth acts like kryptonite?
Yes.
His absolute purity makes him completely incapable of dealing with the very thing he is supposed to be managing.
Exactly. When a system or an individual becomes rigidly obsessed with maintaining absolute ideological or physical purity, they lose all ability to engage with the messy, complex reality of the world.
Yeah.
The Linguin is situated so high up on the hierarchy of cleanliness that he cannot fathom lowering himself to interact with true impurity, even if it means failing his core objective.
That is such a sharp critique by the author. The god would rather let a fugitive escape than get his boots dirty.
He's totally paralyzed by his own defining trait.
And the fox intuitively exploits that systemic blind spot. In a moment of pure panic, he weaponizes the god's uncompromising nature against him.
He surrenders all of his dignity to survive.
Right, knowing the god's programming absolutely forbids him from doing the same. The god of cleaning is defeated by becoming too dirty to clean.
It is absurd, but you have
Yeah.
to remember the physical consequences for the fox are entirely real.
Oh, absolutely.
Surviving this way comes at an immense cost. The text is very clear that outsmarting the divine bureaucracy leaves a mark.
Yeah, the fox escapes, but he is completely covered in the contents of that cesspool. The stench and the stains are so profound that he physically cannot re-enter the human world.
He's literally toxic.
He goes to the river to scrub himself, but it isn't enough. The impurity has seeped into him. He is forced to find a cave and hide in total isolation for a full 100 days.
100 days.
Over 3 months of sitting in a cave just to purge the smell and the dirt from his body.
It is a self-imposed quarantine. He survived the celestial sweep, but he had to temporarily exile himself from the ecosystem of the world to do it.
And when those 100 days finally pass, the tone of the entire text violently shifts. I mean, the slapstick humor just evaporates.
Totally evaporates. We move from a supernatural comedy
Yes.
straight into a historical tragedy.
Yeah. The fox, finally clean, returns to the Chaosian temple, but he doesn't come back to share a laugh with the Taoist about his crazy escape.
No, he doesn't.
He comes back to deliver a final chilling warning. He tells the Taoist, "I've come to bid you farewell and also to give you an instruction."
Very ominous.
Very. He warns his human friend that he must immediately abandon the temple and go into hiding.
He states clearly that a great calamity is coming and that the temple is no longer a blessed land.
And the Taoist trusts him completely. He packs up, leaves his life behind, and moves away. And then Pu Songling hits us with the final line of the text, soon after the Jiashan incident occurred.
Boom. That's it.
It is an incredibly abrupt ending that forces the reader to immediately contextualize everything they just read against real-world history.
And this is where I need you to fill in the blanks for us, because the text assumes the reader knows exactly what the Jiashan incident is, what actually happened.
Right, so the Jiashan year refers to the year 1644 in the traditional Chinese calendar.
1644.
And this was not a minor political event. This was the catastrophic fall of the Ming Dynasty.
Oh, wow. So we are talking about societal collapse.
Total collapse. Beijing was captured by a massive peasant rebellion led by Li Zicheng.
Just to overwhelm the city.
Right. And the last Ming emperor, the Chongzhen emperor, actually hanged himself on a tree in the imperial garden.
That is horrific.
It gets worse. Almost immediately after the Manchu armies breached the Great Wall, swept into China, defeated the rebels, and established the Qing dynasty.
So it's just war on top of war.
Exactly. It was a period marked by unimaginable violence, massacres, famine, and the complete upending of the social order. Millions of people died. That completely reframes the entire story.
Doesn't it?
I mean, the fox just survived the most harrowing, humiliating chase of his life. He spent 100 days scrubbing a latrine off his body in a cave.
Yeah, he could have just stayed hidden in the mountains forever.
Right. But he risked coming back to the human world, to a literal target zone, just to save his friend. Why? What does that say about the bond they forged back in the temple?
It proves the sheer depth of that tuna bond. They weren't just passing acquaintances. That shared cultivation of qi forged a loyalty that compelled the fox to step back into danger just to repay the Taoist's years of friendship and acceptance.
Wow. But the nature of the warning is what really gets me. The fox tells the Taoist the temple is no longer a blessed land.
Right.
He is essentially saying, look, I can handle a celestial guardian chasing me with a whip, but I am absolutely not sticking around for what you humans are about to do to each other.
Yes. The author is drawing a profound contrast between the two types of threats. The celestial spring cleaning, led by the terrifying Lingguan, is ultimately a predictable, cyclical event with strict rules.
Yeah, the fox knows how that bureaucracy operates.
Exactly. Even when he gets caught, there are loopholes, like the latrine, that can be exploited. You can outsmart the divine.
But you cannot outsmart 1644.
You cannot outsmart the collapse of human civilization. The Jiaxin calamity is chaotic, entirely unpredictable, and absolutely devastating. A temple might offer spiritual sanctuary from a ghost or a minor deity.
But it offers zero physical protection from a marauding army burning the country to the ground.
Zero. Human politics and war completely override the cosmic safe zones. The author uses this magical, lighthearted tale of a fox outsmarting a god to ultimately communicate the sheer, inescapable trauma of regime change.
By placing the Jiaxin incident at the very end, Pu Songling elevates the terror of human history above the wrath of the supernatural realm.
It's brilliant pacing.
It really is. The gods might whip you for a zoning violation, but humanity will level the entire world.